Yeah, fire away, guys.
How are things going, compared to expectations when you came in?
Yeah, our guys are working hard every day, morning, noon, and night. We got started, with our first practice back on October 3rd at 6 o'clock in the morning. And everybody was just, great energy. They've been very coachable. They bought into what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish on both ends of the floor. Because it's very important for us to be a balanced team this year. But the energy and the enthusiasm has far greater exceeded my expectations. In terms of execution, we still have a ways to go. That's to be expected. But it's not because there's any confusion or gray area on what we're trying to accomplish.
Have you, in practices with Michael and Shannon, have they been part-time, so to speak?
Yes. Well, let's start with Mike first. Mike Kessens, he pretty much couldn't do much of anything the entire summer, but he's slowly rounding into shape. And we hope to have him by the time the season starts, or somewhere after the first of the season, in the best shape he's ever been in his life. We're headed in that direction because we need him to be a big part of what we're doing. So we've broken his body down physically, and now we're putting it back together. So he's come a long ways from when I first took the job. Shannon obviously is a little bit slower to come along. Today was the first day that he was able to get through some of the half-court portions of practice. So, he participated in practice, but only in the half-court portion of it. But he's gotten stronger. His weight was down early in the season. Now we've gotten his weight up to an area where I think I like to see him play at. So both of those guys, they're still coming. We hope by the time that we play our scrimmage that those guys will be ready to, that they'll be 100% ready to go.
What are the freshmen doing? Who's impressing you among the new guys?
All of our freshmen have been very competitive in practice. A lot's been thrown at those guys. A lot of it is new to them, and there's a greater sense of responsibility on both ends of the floor, probably than they've ever been held responsible in their life. But all of those kids are working hard. Dejan, obviously at the point guard spot, trying to quarterback the team, and especially playing for me. He probably has the toughest situation, but Brandon and Dante and Lawson and all those guys, they put forth the effort every day.
It's a lot of
with the 20-second shot clock. Just how have the guys been getting used to that?
You know what? They've gotten used to it because it's a faster pace. You got to make quicker decisions, and we'll be ready if there are 10 or 12 seconds on the shot clock. We have packages that'll should work if we can just make some shots during those situations. But they enjoy our style of play. The main thing is, they had this one movie, what's it called, Finding Nemo? We got to just make sure we find Jimmy and not allow Jimmy to get lost in the pace of play.
And just along those lines, is a lot of what you're doing right now just geared towards getting players used to the up-tempo pace and the pace that you're looking to play at?
Yeah, and the main thing is just trying to build confidence in playing with a 30-second shot clock. That if we can play with a 20-second shot clock, there's going to be a lot of confidence in terms of, if we don't score in 5 seconds, maybe it's 7 seconds. If we don't score in 20 seconds, then we don't want to throw the ball away or take a bad shot. We still have 10 more seconds. So we're just trying to build confidence, and we're just trying to do what's best for our system, and they've embraced it.
What's the biggest thing you've learned since October 3rd?
The biggest thing I've learned, sometimes you got to take baby steps. Sometimes in terms of retaining information, it's not going to go as fast as we want. So we have to take 5 steps backwards to make sure that fundamentally we get the foundation laid before we move on to the next thing.
Is that the biggest difference maybe with the NBA, where you can move a little bit quicker with things?
That's pretty much, you summarize what I'm saying. You can move a little bit quicker. But it's okay because, as I've shared in my press conference and with every appearance that I've had, Rotary clubs, tip-off clubs, quarterback clubs, I've coached a lot of young kids over the last 2 years, and it's been the same way. Just go at a slower pace to make sure that they totally comprehend and not just hear what you're saying.
Coach, what's your message to all fans?
The message is this has been very gratifying for me. I love being the head coach here at the University of Alabama. There's no turning back. I'm going to be fully moved into my house in a week. Fully moved in, okay, in a week. And my wife is excited. My son has adjusted. And I'm looking forward to our October 27 tip-off event, where I hope to, at least have, whether it's half the stadium, Coliseum, a quarter of it, 3/4 of it, whatever it is, full. And, looking forward to seeing all of our fans out there November 6th, our exhibition game, and opening night November 13th. But everywhere I've gone, restaurants, airports, schools, on campus, talking to our administrators, there's an excitement in the air for University of Alabama men's basketball. And we're also glad to be partnering with women's basketball on our tip-off.
Coach, not a football question, but you did get a chance to visit with a young man in Atlanta yesterday. Could you tell us the football player from Southern?
Oh, yes, Devin Gales. Oh, man, I had a chance on a recruiting trip to take about an hour and go spend time with Devin and his family. And I don't want to get emotional, I think he did more for me than I did for him. His attitude was so great. He's making progress in his rehab. His mom and his entire family was there, and I'm glad he lifted my spirits about life. He thought I lifted his spirits, but he's got a long road ahead. But every day, again, he's gaining a yard. He's gaining a yard, and I believe one day he's going to walk again. So I was very encouraged by his attitude.
How did that get set up?
Couple more questions.
Hey, how did that get set up?
I called the athletic director, Roman Banks, at Southern, my alma mater, and asked him would it be okay, and he called the family, and they said they'd love for you to come by and visit, and that's how it got set up. And he had on some Crimson Tide shoes, which was Crimson Tide colors, so that was very good. And also, I know we're in a competitive conference, but also I want to say thank you to all of the folks at Georgia for doing what they're doing for Devin and his family. Okay, I know we want to win, but let's put that aside. They're doing a heck of a job at supporting their family in their time of need.
Coach, I noticed you were encouraging the guys coming off screens to take the open shots on the outside. Have you found they were hesitant to do that maybe from a different style of play from a year ago?
Maybe so, and I think it's a daily reminder. They want to do the right thing. They want to play the right way, and sometimes by nature they don't want to take early great shots. We're trying to encourage them to take those shots because that's better than moving the ball around 10 times and getting a bad shot.
Let's do one more
He's
question.
kind of emerging as a leader maybe on this team since it's a younger team a little bit.
I think all of our guards, Justin Coleman, Dejon Ingram, Brett Novasahan, Jimmy Taylor, Jimmy the quiet, gentle giant in a lot of ways. He's taking more of a leadership role. That's very encouraging. But we're in the texting generation. They don't talk a lot. So we're trying to encourage them to talk a little bit more. Like I was asking them, I've dated before, and the girl that I dated years ago, now we've been married almost 25 years. When I'm sitting next to her in the restaurant, we don't text each other, we actually talk. So I told them, I tried to give them some tips on the game, talk a little bit more, okay? All right, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for coming.